Hello, Zach.
Hey, Alex.
And welcome, everyone, to the Pokemon Power Podcast. Zach, how are you doing?
Oh, man, I'm so good. I'm so good. I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation from my responsibilities, but not from my joy, which is talking to you.
And for our viewers who I haven't mentioned to and our listeners who are unaware, I'm on vacation as well in my daughter's workstation where my computer was moved to recently because she's doing school from home, living her best COVID-19 life. Zach, how many of our 12 episodes now do you think we've mentioned COVID-19?
I think the right amount, because if you're listening to this at some point in the future, you should just realize that it's everything that we think about and talk about it's all seeped in with the fact that we're all stuck inside at some point or wearing masks. And we love it. We love to be able to serve our fellow human beings and not get them sick. But at the same time, we also are annoyed. And so it just happens that we talk about it, or your child is going to school in your living room and you get to relearn the alphabet, which is always fun, A, B, C, the rest. All the rest of that song, I think, it's there.
There was I don't want to seem too intellectual, but there was a cartoon in the New Yorker. I guess that's as smart as I get. I read the New Yorker for the cartoons. But I'm two people trying to have a conversation. And it's funny because they're like, let's try not to bring up COVID because it makes us sad. And then, of course, they can't have a conversation for more than 10 seconds without bringing it up. So I think we're doing great that we are able to talk so lengthily. I don't know if that's a word, but let's go with it about Pokemon. And Zach, that's what our show's about. But before we get into Pokemon, we got to do two things real quick. Like them, subscribe them, and follow them. Leave a review where you don't yell. Pokemon Power Podcast. Zach, you gave me a cutout clip of me doing that to send to a friend, so that way I didn't have to do it anymore on the show. And I neglected to do it. I dropped the ball. And I'm wondering, Zach, as my Freudian-like counselor, do you think there's a subconscious inside of me that likes singing that song, that wants to sing it every single episode?
I would say the subconscious element of it is that your subconscious actually hates you, and it knows that you hate doing that, and therefore it's forcing you to keep singing that song. But for our listeners and watchers, I just want to remind them what that song is about. Is to like and subscribe our video, because I think maybe you can get lost in the beautiful tones of the song, the beautiful sound of the songbird that is Alex, and forget. Pause the video right now. Please like, subscribe, and share this. Don't even finish it. Please just like and subscribe and share it right now.
By the way, I think this is like our second episode in a row where we've just told people to not complete the episode if they're not fully on board. I think I told people last episode if they don't like Pikachu that they can just throw their radios out,
Yes.
Why am I assuming people listen to this on the radio? I know how this works. I don't know why I'm so stupid.
No, take the radio out of your living room where it sits in the family.
I'm looking at the sound waves right now. I think that's why. I think I looked at sound waves and I said radio frequencies. The radio frequencies match the brain waves.
That's so true.
Much like Jigglypuff. Zach, let's start with a little icebreaker, and I'm doing one that's a little bit self-centered.
Perfect.
But as you know, I don't like to talk about it too much on the show. But I work a second job. But by the time this episode comes out, please clap for me. Please clap for my work ethic.
Yeah, job.
I don't like when I do voices. When I listen back and I do a voice, it's like me cringing. So every time I get pimped into doing a voice, which you don't really do. You never go, Alex, give me that Austin Powers impression.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever asked for it, actually.
Do you want to hear it, boy?
I mean, you've already brought it up. And you said this icebreaker was self-serving. I assume it's you forcing impressions on us.
Baby.
No, I'm sorry. That was the Austin Powers?
Okay. We waste too much time on this show.
Let's go.
I'll work on an Austin Powers. I'll bring it next week. No, I'm leaving my second job, and I put in my essentially 4 weeks the other day. I talked to my boss about it, and I'm gonna have all this extra time. I was working overnights to make ends meet, and I like that ends meet, baby. That's the best part. But I would I'd work extra, and now I have all this extra time. Zach, what should I do with my extra time?
Oh wow! So this is me imagining a scenario that I have extra time, and what would I do with it?
Sure.
Or,
What would you do if you had that extra time I have that I'm going to have, I guess?
Oh man, I would make a podcast, but I would really, I would make it. I would do a really good job on it, and I would make it really good.
So you make this podcast better is essentially what you're trying to make.
I kind of think like what I think you should do is maybe do those things that you're forgetting, like send off your jingle to get recorded or something like that. You know, maybe you should really, I think, consider what's important. And I think if you really sit down and think about it, what's the most important thing going on in your life right now? It's getting this podcast to be successful. And so I'd say, hey, this extra time, congrats. And your family will say, oh, do we get to hang out with dad more? And you'll say, sorry, guys, I got to work these extra hours.
I'm Dr. Freud. Thank you. I'm picking up your subtle cues. I need to spend time with my family who loves me and see them and hold them and kiss them as they like.
I'm glad you caught the only one word that I said family once. And because you were so sensitive about it, you knew.
I'm trying to make you seem like a good guy on this show. You know what? That's the work I'm putting in. You just come on this show every single week and you're like, which animal would I punch directly in the face? All of them. I don't mind at all. You know who's a good man? Some terrible person. Zach, let's not waste any time on this show. Great. We're speedy boys. We're two athletic men running the 400-meter dash to the end of this podcast.
I've been known. One of my nicknames in high school was Usain Bolt. I think it was before he was famous or had done anything major, but that's just what they called me. It just kind of matched my personality.
Zach, I got a joke.
Okay,
you want to hear my joke?
Yeah.
What does Jasmine from Aladdin's father say when he is eating a meal that tastes bland? I'm Sultan.
What?
Yes! I feel very good about that.
Like I'm salting. I need to salt this
because he's the Sultan. All right, let's go.
We're gonna talk about Pokemon today.
First Pokemon, Jasmine's father. We're gonna do the segment.
A rock at him.
He's not a good dad. We're gonna do the segment Gotta Elucidate Them All. This is a segment where Zach is going to do his best to describe a Pokemon. He doesn't know which one we're talking about today, and I'm going to bring him up on the screen. Zach, you're gonna have 30 seconds to describe this Pokemon today without bringing up any Pokemon names. Are you ready?
No, let's go for it.
I mean, that's all I really ask is you to be prepared. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's do it.
To be present.
To be
emotionally
present. Yes, thank you.
Digitally present. And I'm here for you.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Oh, man. Okay. So what I'm looking at here, listeners, is a small purple mouse. Also, I think of it as looking outdoors like. So the outdoor mouse, like the chipmunk or a squirrel type thing, but it's got some spikes on the back. It's not furry. It's got hooves. It's got one big tooth that it's going to chew on things and big old ears off the top of its head. And it's small.
Wonderful. We finished with 2 seconds left. Perfect. Zach, I'm going to ask you, and I don't know if you know, who's that Pokemon?
This is, and I'm going to say it's the male version Nidorino.
Okay, you're within the right family.
Ninjago. It's
that's the Lego collection. The Lego movie starring James Franco's brother Dave Franco.
Yes, no.
And Kumail Nanjiani.
Hey, what a great guy.
Zach and I were looking at puff pictures of Kumail Nanjiani before this podcast started. It said, why can't we be like that? What's wrong with us?
Oh my gosh. And then okay, say it. Fine.
This is Nidoran female.
Nidoran. And this is female. Purple is the female.
Well, so I would say this is more of a blue because there is a purple one, and that's the male. And I think that's very progressive of Pokemon. Make the female blue, make the male purple. You know, you think of purple.
This is changing my life right now. You're telling me that the blue was the girl and the purple was the boy one? I think what this really is a lesson in me is that I still don't know the difference between the male and female symbols that were the little like symbol next to it that tells you if it's male or female. I might not know I might not know which one's which.
So the male is the one that has the pointer up, has the arrow up. And when you see that, just think of stocks and think of how men love stocks. And then women, it's the circle with the cross underneath it because women love our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So that's how you can remember it. That's how I remember it.
That's so helpful. Okay. Well, there we go.
Nidoran female is the one we're talking about today. Zach, any thoughts on Nidoran female? I mean, you thought it was a boy.
I don't mean to gender the Pokemon that way or misgender the Pokemon, but I will say that I think it's cool. I mean, it looks like it's not it's a mouse type looking, but it definitely has like hooves almost in that picture, you know, so it's like almost pig-like, not pig though. I'm trying to think of those little
Zach, your attempts here are all actually it looks like Madagascar.
No, like there's like some animal that's like a maybe it's in Australia that's like a Willy Coocoobera in the old gum tree. Oh, what is that little thing that's
I'm gonna let you just keep going.
Okay, no, just go for it. We have to keep moving on. But there's a specific animal that I'm thinking of that is like furry and small like that, but it also has like hooves.
If you don't think of it, you can say it during apology time next week.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to apologize.
I want to do our apology time real quick. I'm very sorry that our episodes have been going long. So let's go to the Pokeball decision.
Cleared it up.
I'm just kidding. We have two quick segments I want to go through. They're both new, although one I doubt we'll ever do again.
Perfect.
Do you want to do the one that we'll never do again, or you want to do the other new one? What do you want to do first?
Let's save that one. Let's save the one we'll never do again to build.
Okay. Well, I have a new segment. This one's called Monster Maker. Monster Maker. Zach, are you excited for Monster Maker?
I'm excited that I get to do it more than once.
All right, great.
It's great.
Well, Zach, you and I are mad scientists.
Yep.
I am Dr. Pokestein. And you're Professor Yoke. And the Kanto government calls us up and they say, boys, we made a mistake. We've eaten the Nidoran female to extinction.
Oh, good job.
And we need you to, you mad scientists, we need you to cover up our QAnon-like activities. Yes?
Time out, though. You said in this setup that we've eaten all of them to extinction.
Sure.
Is that your subtle way of saying that these Pokemon are regularly eaten?
There's no Pokédex entries about it, but I just think of, what kind of evil thing.
Okay. All right. So it's just this crazy thing that they've ate it all. I was just making sure that if this was just another Pokemon that I'm gonna find out they're eating.
I also want to clarify. I've brought up QAnon before on this show. We are not QAnon people.
Oh my gosh.
I know that I'm just asking for them to write about us on 4chan. But 4chan, like and subscribe. If you don't like Pikachu, you can't watch this program. You can't listen. But if you're on 4chan, come on in.
No, don't. If you don't know what that is, don't try to find out what it is. All right, here's the deal. Let's continue on Mad Scientist. It's fine. I just wanted to know if we're actually eating these things in the game again.
The Cantonian government, they said we ate it up. We need you to cover up our sins. And we know you're Mad Scientist. You're up for anything. So what they want us to do is they want us to build a Frankenstein-esque Nidoran female. They're saying to us, hey, we don't have any more of these. We don't want the street people, as the government calls them. We don't want the street people finding out about this. So we need you to build a new Nidoran female. Please yawn more directly into the microphone.
Sorry. That's why I'm trying to drink my coffee here.
So we have to rebuild a Nidoran female. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I've broken down our Nidoran into its core components, and then we need to pick a real animal that we're going to use and kind of Frankenstein into this Nidoran female to make a Nidoran again. Okay. All right, so the very first one I want to talk about has that big buck tooth that you mentioned, one big tooth in the front.
Yeah.
So I want to pick out a couple animals here, and we're going to decide which one fits best. Which buck tooth are we going to steal from as these mad scientists? You and I, we don't in real life
Beaver.
we don't build chimera out of animals or anything like that.
Not yet. It's a beaver.
Not yet. All right, so do you think that buck tooth should we take from the gopher? Should we take from the rabbit, or should we take from the hamster?
Rabbit.
Rabbit, why you say rabbit?
Rabbits are cute. That thing was cute.
Very cute, and we want to keep the cuteness. I agree with you. Great pick. I think if you hadn't said anything, I would have gone rabbit as well. The horn on its head, it has a little horn, and here's a Pokedex entry about it. The poison hidden in its small horn is extremely potent. Even a tiny scratch can have fatal results. That's from Heart Gold. So it has a little poison horn on the front of its head. Do we want to take the horn from a rhinoceros, a Jackson chameleon, or a triceratops? We have access to a triceratops. We're those kind of mad scientists.
Cool. That's somewhere deep in our lab somewhere. I mean, I want to go triceratops.
Batman has like a big T-Rex in like the Batcave.
That's true.
Why?
I mean, why
What
not?
was that from?
That was from his days of being a paleontologist, before he was, Batman.
Much like Ross from Friends. Batman's a real Ross.
Yeah, Batman is a real of the Justice League.
I'm a Chandler.
He kind of is.
All right, what do you want to go with? Rhinoceros, Jackson chameleon, or a triceratops?
I want to go rhinoceros. I mean, I want to go.
We can shrink the horn.
Triceratops.
We're mad scientists. We can shrink the horn if we want.
I mean, I'm not going to that. I want to make it as good as I can, as close as I can. So I'm going to go chameleon for me personally.
Jackson chameleon. You know what? You can go that way. I'm going rhinoceros. I want that horn on there, baby.
Okay.
Give me that rhinoceros horn. In fact, defrost the triceratops. Let's take that on. Let's shrink it down. Put that on. I think that'd be perfect. It does have the horn. I don't know if you saw. It's kind of like shaved. It doesn't come to like a big point. The Nidoran male does, which we'll talk about that when we talk about Nidoran male in a few weeks.
Okay.
Just a little drop. I'm not saying exactly when, but Nidoran male, I checked the schedule, not too far off. So you're going Jackson chameleon. I'm going rhinoceros. The barbs that it has on its side, Nidoran has barbs that secrete a powerful poison. This is from Ruby Sapphire. They are thought to have developed as protection for this small-bodied Pokemon. When enraged, it releases a horrible toxin from its horn.
Oh my goodness.
So that's horn stuff. But they also have these barbs on the side of its face that secrete poison. And I picked a couple different quills, barbs, spikes, animals. Do we want to take the barb? Do we want to use the barb from a porcupine, a pufferfish, or a hedgehog?
We got to go pufferfish because, that's actually some poison in there, right?
There is. Yeah, I know. That's the one thing that I thought really fit well. I will say that the quills are almost more hedgehog-like, but I'll stick with you. I think we got to stick together as mad scientists. We're two crazy people in the world, and we love each other, so we gotta, compromise.
We're the only two for each other. I mean, that's what I've always said.
All right, so we'll go pufferfish there. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. I confused myself.
Oh my gosh.
But finally, and I don't have animals for this one. I just want an animal for its essence. For like, what does this animal represent? And I have a good one that I don't think we've picked up on yet. From Diamond and Pearl, it says, while it does not prefer to fight. It's not a combative Pokemon. It's one that's just like living his life.
It's more like self-defense mechanisms that's got going on here.
Her life.
Wait. I didn't say his.
I did. I'm correcting myself.
Oh my gosh. You made me doubt myself. I've already misgendered once in this episode. Thank you. I'm not going to do it again.
All right. So its essence. What do we want to kind of pick up as its essence for this animal?
I'm going to go with an animal that you actually mentioned earlier that reminds me of an experience in my own life. And so I'm going to say this. I'm going with hamster. And I want you to think about why for a second here with me.
Okay.
All right. Hamsters don't have poisonous quills, but they do act in self-defense, as did my pet hamster. Before he was my pet at the store, I was trying to get my own little dwarf pet hamster, little, whatever it is, dwarf something. It's the little tiny ones, right?
Keep saying dwarf.
Little dwarf hamsters. That's what they're called. It's not offensive. It's what the hamster is called. And so I'm getting that, and I'm trying to get it, and all of them are running around in a little cage at like Walmart, and that's where I'm going to get one. I'm trying to get the run around. I couldn't catch it, and the worker there, he's not helping me, and I don't know why you're not helping a kid trying to get this little animal out of this thing. So I was like, oh, look, there's one that's just kind of like laying there sleeping. You know, I didn't think he was dead. He wasn't dead. He was fine. He was just kind of sleeping. He was like letting everyone else run around, and I went to try to pick him up, and the little guy, he grabbed and bit my thumb. And I in the store, and this is where it gets crazy. That's not the crazy part. The hamster's biting you.
Zach, this is a lawsuit.
Here's what happens. Here's what happens to this little hamster. Bites my thumb, and I'm like, ow, that hurts. And so what I do as a small child is I go and I flip my hand up in the air, and the little hamster goes, whoo, and then splats on the hard linoleum floor of like the Walmart.
Is it alive? Did you kill a hamster?
And I go, I freak out because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in pain, but I didn't want the little guy to splat on the ground. And the worker's like not phased at all. Obviously, this happens all the time to them.
Wait, did you kill a hamster in the store?
They fix it up. I take him home. He's totally fine. He wakes up. He's totally great. And that's Indiana Jones for you, you know? Indiana Jones, the hamster. And so that's why I say, I look at that little spunky Nidorino, whatever we're talking about. Nidoran female. I look at them and I think that is a spunky little guy who's just it's just trying to protect itself.
I agree. I was going to say hamster as well before we even got there. I think everything, I agree with you. So when we break down a Nidoran female, all it really is, baby, is a rabbit, triceratops, porcupine, or pufferfish hamster. That's all it is, a rabbit, triceratops, pufferfish, hamster.
Easy.
That's just
we create that easy peasy.
Yeah, so Game Freak, you were feeling lazy there creating that one. I won't actually say that. That's me joking. I'm always very happy with Pokemon design. I don't think the design has gotten worse as time has gone on. However, the naming has certainly gotten better because we need to, Zach, do a segment we may do only once, maybe twice. We need to correct Game Freak's mistake.
Whoa.
Correct Game Freak's mistake. Zach, there are all female Pokemon. For example, we talked about Kangaskhan. And one sad day on this show, we will talk about Jinx. And there are all male Pokemon like Hitmonlee, or a new favorite of mine, Impidimp. The problem isn't that there are all male versions of
the all male Pokemon.
Impidimp is a world-class Pokemon. I'm very excited to talk about him 16 years from now. We're still doing this show. Impidimp, but the problem is that they're all male versions and they're all female versions. That's not a problem. The problem is that they bunted on the name here. So here's what Game Freak needs to do, okay? And the new Pokemon game that comes out, let's say 2022 or whatever, 2023, they need to fix their mistake by renaming Nidoran female and Nidoran male. Okay, they already fixed the evolved version with Nidorino, Nidorina, and Nidoking and Nidoqueen.
Yeah.
But they need to rename these two, and I even think they should include a plot where the scientist who named them, he's disgraced now for being so lazy, for screwing this up. And then you have to help the scientist find a new Pokemon that he gets to name. She gets to name whoever. I like it being a man because then it's the guy who's the dummy. He made this dumb mistake. I'm a weak, cowardly man, and
you would totally make this mistake. You would 100% make this mistake. You want to know how I know that? Is that I'm going to ask you a question right now, and we're going to see by your answer what we're going to just we'll see.
Okay.
Did you find any reason why they wouldn't make two separate Pokemon names and they just had the one male female Nidoran? Like, was there any description or anything? Because like they split them after.
There are differences between Nidoran female and Nidoran male, which we'll talk about when we talk about Nidoran male. I wanted to use the female as kind of our base here, but you know what? They made Nidoran male the first one. That I'm saying this as if I'm so confident, and I'm not, but I believe Nidoran male pulls up first in the Pokédex, and Nidoran female, it's always like, its horn is smaller than Nidoran male. It's like all by comparison. It's very sexist, and I want to call it out. And if you were involved in that, shame on you. Shame on your children. Shame on your parents.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this shame that you're piling on. And I don't want to defend a company, but I will defend the people that are behind it. And I just wonder. I wonder what the thinking was, because they clearly split them by names going on. And so and this is where I don't want to catch you up on anything, but in the Japanese translation of the names, were there differences in the evolutions, or were they all the same names, but just male and female versions of names?
Zach, in both languages. It's interesting you asked me this. I wasn't going to bring this up on the show. They were the same name, or at least Nidoran female was consistent across Japanese, across English, across all these languages. It was the same. And when it actually got brought into like Chinese, they just transliterated it. They didn't like try a different name out. Although with Chinese, I think they called it like Nidoran female beautiful orchid or something like that.
I like that.
Cool. I love the Chinese names. I want to keep pulling those up. Those are really weird and cool. But what I wanted to do here is we need to correct Game Freak's mistake. We need to come up with new names for Nidoran female and Nidoran male. All right. And I have a woke pitch.
Okay.
A woke pitch that I'm for. I like this idea. You want to hear my woke pitch?
I'm just
Nidoran. Wait. Listen to my woke pitch. Nidoran female should change its name to Nidoran.
Okay.
Make the man change the name.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I was actually going to go that same route, but in the context that there wasn't a difference. And
okay, so I don't think that's an option. Here's why. It's just like changing the name is one thing, but then changing the entire Pokédex where it's just like combining them into one. I think that's a problem, because then you got like, you know, we don't have 151 Pokemon in the original. We have 150. You know, I just causes too many issues. Everyone's Pokédex number changes. I think you keep them separate.
Hear me out. Okay. Hear me out. I would even be fine with the male and females having slightly different move sets. Like if you have a male, it can get these different moves at some point and things like that. But in a lot of the other Pokemon, you can get a male or a female, and it doesn't change. Like you have, well, I'm assuming, like let's say it's an Abra. Are there male and female Abras?
Yeah, I believe so. There's a few that are gender neutral that don't have a gender.
I was going to say to not ruin your attack, but. You know, we have a dog, you have dogs, and they're all canines. And then there's female canines and male canines, and that's just what they are. And I think I personally, I would go that route. And I know maybe it's more work on the number side of things. Maybe we just add in a couple of cool Pokemon.
I do not like that you have decided to do this. I'm angry. We're going to come back to this when we do Nidoran male, and we need to have a good name for Nidoran male, or I want you to come back and tell me what you think Nidoran female should change its name to, okay? This is an assignment for you, Zach, and you're notorious for dropping the ball on your assignments.
Okay.
Where's the treehouse? Where's your Pokédex? Your Pokemon card collection.
Okay.
Where's my gosh darn Instagram photos that you said you were going to make for me? Zach, where is it?
That's true. I'm
my
behind
face
on all
is
those
turning
things.
Beet red for the listener.
The only way to have you get those things, the only way to have you get those things would be to give me more things to do. That makes the most sense. To give me more things to do. But I accept that.
You were saying this morning, you're like, hey, you know what we should do? Let's post clips on Instagram instead of the full video. Yeah. I go, that's fine, but someone's got to do that work, bro. Someone's got to do that work. And it ain't going to be me.
Well, guess what?
Because I'm making these segments that you keep trying to upend during the middle of the program.
Someone is about to have one less job. One less job. They're going to have all this time. No, this segment.
By the way, we're looking for an intern. If you're looking for a college credit,
I'm just saying, I think everyone as the listeners, and we can take votes, they might agree with me that I think it's a bigger change than just names. I think there's a bigger issue going on.
We got to get to the bottom of this, bro. Peeing on.
Pokemon. Oh, no.
Hey, bro, you think the Earth is flat? This is our new segment.
Kanto is flat.
I don't see the curve in Kanto. All right. Zach and I don't believe in a flat earth. We're both intelligent young men. Moon landing was fake though. Okay. I'm kidding about that
Propaganda.
too. All right, Zach, it's time for the Pokeball decision.
Great.
This is the top part of the show where we assign the Pokemon we were talking about today, Nidoran female, a Pokeball, not based on its rarity, but based on how badly do we want it. Do we want it Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball? We can throw a Master Ball once a season. Neither of us have done that yet. Only Brandon James Greer threw a Master Ball at Squirtle, throwing the curve completely off. But you also have the option to flee and throw a rock, which Zach has done. I don't know why
multiple times
trying to put him on blast. But Zach, what would you give our Nidoran female today? What do you want to throw at that Pokemon?
Out of protest of the gendered Pokemon system. Also, I've never super wanted this hamster-like Pokemon. But knowing that it's got the barbs are actually poisonous, but also knowing that it's not a super big fighter, it's actually more defensive. I'm going Pokeball. I'm all right if this thing passes me by.
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit better than you. I'm going to go Great Ball, although it's a hesitant Great Ball. I'm throwing it reluctantly.
Okay.
But yeah, same reasons. I think whenever I hear a Pokemon doesn't like to fight, I think that drops it to Pokeball immediately for me. But I do like poison barbs. I mean, I think like you compare this to a Slowpoke. Like Slowpoke not only doesn't want to fight, you either put it out there, it's just going to take a nap, you know?
Yeah.
This one, you throw it out, it's going to defend itself. And it seems like it's got some pretty good tools at its expense. So I'm going Great Ball. I understand the distinction, but Zach, it is time for the Pokemon Power Ranking. And is what we have named our show after. We have the list, and I'm going to actually put this up here. What we're going to start doing for our listeners, we're not going to talk through the entire list anymore. It's too long. There's 11 entries right now. We're about to make it 12. So if you're a viewer, you'll see it on the screen now. But if you're a listener, what I would encourage you to do, if you don't know the list so far, go check our Instagram. We're going to have it posted there. Go check our Twitter. You can. We're going to have it posted there. Pokepowpod for both of those. But this is our list so far, from Slowpoke in 11th place to Snorlax at number 1. It's crushing it. Snorlax living its best life. Zach, where do you think?
Move him. So I'm putting this little guy, doesn't want to fight, somewhere between 7 and 9.
That's pretty high. So you think it 7 and 9 for those who are listening. 7 is Cubone, 8 is Squirtle, 9 is Spearow. Spearow has the heart of a champion. So I actually think a little bit lower. I was going to put it at
10.
I was going to say 10. I think just above Jigglypuff and Slowpoke, because they're more like, if you're building a team, you'd have Jigglypuff in there. You'd say Jigglypuff, put him to sleep. But if you have Jigglypuff fighting by herself versus a Nidoran female, I mean, Nidoran's going to poison it. And then it's going to sing its final song. It's going to, the fat lady's going to sing for Jigglypuff. So I think number 10.
Question.
Yes.
Is Jigglypuff both a male or female?
Yes, I believe it is.
Oof. Mind blowing.
Yes, queen.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. You're good.
All right. I think the 10 spot. So beneath Spearow, because Spearow's got the heart of a champion. Okay. Jigglypuff. Not really a fighter, more of a singer. Just like Freddie Mercury, I think, said that. Am I right?
No.
Who says that?
Which one?
Me right now?
Yeah, I think you said it. I didn't say it. I know that.
No, I'm thinking of
We Are the Champions.
Not to bring him up, Michael Jackson.
Okay. Hey, he's got some great songs.
He says there's that song he does with Paul McCartney, and they have a little dialogue, and he goes, "I'm a lover, not a fighter." But I think I then changed it to "I'm a singer, not a fighter," because he was a singer, among other things.
So really good.
We brought up QAnon. We brought up Michael Jackson.
Okay, you're saying we. It is 100% you. And also, you really wanted to make sure that you could do a slightly offensive, not great. Not
Austin
great
Powers impression?
No, but you didn't put that in, but you know what you did do?
What?
Michael Jackson impression. So
what? You can do an impression of Michael Jackson. It's like doing an impression of another terrible man, Bill Cosby, where it's just like anyone can do it.
Anyone can do it, but should anyone
gaslighting. All right, listener. All right, if you're a listener or viewer, I want you to send in a clip of you doing your best Michael Jackson impression. And then if you think it's wrong,
with the glove and everything,
you can. All right, if you're for.
If you can
if you're
moonwalk,
for doing Michael Jackson impressions, if you're for doing Michael Jackson impressions, just send us a video of you doing a Michael Jackson impression, and I'll retweet it. Zach will refuse to put it on Instagram, but I'll retweet it. And then if you are against it, you can do hashtag Alex George's over party.
Yes,
and
or canceled. Either one.
Yeah,
over or
Zach
canceled.
will get a new co-host. Who would you replace me with? Shirtless Kumail Nanjiani.
Daniel Craig. I really think he has a lot to say. I think he has a lot to add about
two
Pokemon.
buff men. Zach and I are would you call yourself chubby or chunky?
I call myself a dad.
And you know what I call myself? Beautiful. Just the way I am. You want to say anything in closing, Zach?
I learned something new today about a Pokemon that I will not say their name because I believe it's inherently gendered or non-gendered. And I learned a lot about myself today, that I'll even stand up to Alex when he forces me to try to gender things. And I'm really proud of myself today. And maybe you as a listener, you know what? Sometimes we even have to stand up to our friends. I can't. Sometimes we need to stand up, even to people that you love, to stand up for what you believe is right and true. And I can't wait for the day that Nintendo has to backtrack the entire Pokedex and renumber it because of the movement they've created from this podcast. So thank you for that, you guys. Thank you for your support, and be all you can be who you are.
Mm-hmm. I agree with everything you said except for most of it. I also want people to be themselves. We love you. This show loves you. God loves you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Nintendo, Game Freak, Monsters Inc. If you're listening,
all the inks.
Mike Wazowski, Sully, Randall, if you're listening,
if you guys are out there, like and subscribe.
Nidoran, number one, like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Demolish the subscribe button. Should I take improv classes? Oh yeah. All I'm saying is, I think Nidoran female, change his name to Nidoran. And then let's rework on a name for Nidoran male. I'm gonna have one locked and loaded when we hit that Nidoran episode.
Yeah, Nidoran
in a few weeks.
Nidoran and Nidoran.
Nidoran.
Yeah.
Nidoran Swanson. Is that something? As always, the Pokemon Power Podcast would like to thank. Please send in your pictures of Nidoran Swanson. I want to see them. We would like to thank bulbapedia.bulbagarden.net, sarahb.org, and Dr. Lava YT. And just another note, I said this last week with Arbok. There is a truly disturbing Nidoran female fact that I could not go into on this show. So I would encourage you, if you're an adult, to look it up. go to bulbapedia.bulbagarden.net. Just go to the trivia and you'll be like, what? Why would they do this? What's wrong with Nintendo? Zach is wrong. Alex is right. You'll have all those thoughts as soon as you read it. And if you don't read it, you must assume Alex is right. If you'd like to learn more about Pokemon, those would be great resources for you. If you'd like to ask us a question about next week's Pokemon, submit a game, or just keep up with the podcast, you can follow us on most social media platforms at Pokepowpod. If you're watching this on YouTube, we would ask that you like and subscribe, as that helps our channel grow. If you are listening to the podcast, please subscribe via your podcast app. Leave a review if you can. Once again, that is very helpful for our podcast. And we would like to say to all of you out there, to the men, to the women, to those who don't identify as either, whether you're black, white, yellow, whatever color you are, whatever your creed is, whoever you worship as your Lord, or if it's no one that you worship as your Lord, or if it's yourself that you worship as your Lord.
I was going to say yourself. Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah.
And if you were a Pokemon, we'd choose you.
We choose you every day.
Thank you. Have a wonderful week.
Bye.